Zodiac 85X presents Team
If I had kids, I would educate them on the truth. I would educate them on exactly what happens in animal agriculture. I would show them how the animals were killed. I would show them the health problems with animal products. I would show them the environmental problems with animal products. I would show them what the media and what the marketing is not showing people, and I would let them decide.
Look, you don't seem like a bad guy, and I'm sure you don't have any ill intentions either. Every parent wants what's best for their children. They try to feed them the best that they can. They try and give them a balanced diet. One thing I don't agree with is exposing a child to something like Dominion, especially if they're really young. You should never expose them to factory farm footage when they're really young. That could traumatize them, and it's not mentally healthy. And it can backfire and cause them to become a violent person. If you're going to teach your children about meat, you're also going to want to teach them about vegetables. For instance, like how a lot of vegetables, they use pesticides, and how you can OD on certain vitamins like vitamin A and potassium, and to be careful with that kind of stuff. That's why you should always eat a balanced diet.
Now, I challenge each one of you guys that are thinking that it's forceful. Are your parents choosing what you eat? Are they forcing you to eat meat? Because I remember when I was a kid, I was forced to eat eggs. I was forced to eat meat, right? So that's kind of a normal thing that parents do. They do what they think is the best for their kids.
I was never really forced. How it worked was in the kitchen, we always had assorted foods. Like, it wasn't like a buffet or anything, not like that, but we would have like broccoli, mashed potatoes, or mixed vegetables and mashed potatoes. And then we would have, some meat, or maybe some Brussels sprouts, some green beans. We would have like a couple pots of like two different servings of like vegetables. So that way we always got a full serving of vegetables when we ate meat. But that's just how it worked with us. So we got to serve ourselves. We would bring our plates up and choose what we wanted. So like one pot might have mashed potatoes in it, but the next pot would have mixed vegetables. And because we didn't eat the same thing every day, the next night we might have broccoli in one pot, and maybe we would also have some sweet potatoes as well.
I would never give my kids anything that's toxic or anything that's going to harm them. And I know animal products harms people, and I know it's toxic.
Meat isn't toxic. Now, I will agree that too much red meat isn't good for you. So just eat red meat in moderation and don't eat it every day. Chicken and fish, however, are a much better choice. As a matter of fact, chicken broth is really good for you. Chicken broth is good for your respiratory system. It helps support healthy white blood cells. That's why when people get the flu, they recommend chicken noodle soup to people.
I would also never pay for someone else to die on the behalf of someone else if I didn't have to. Animal products are unnecessary and cruel, so it's not I would educate my kids and let them decide. And I'm pretty sure they decide no animal products for them either.
Well, you kind of contradicted yourself on what you said. You see, you said you would never give your kids anything that was harmful or toxic, but you said you also knew that meat was harmful and toxic. And then you said you would let your kids decide. So if you weren't going to let your kids have meat anyways, then how do they get to decide?
Interesting point. First of all, veganism isn't a diet. I know that can be often confused. It's actually a moral stance against animal abuse, essentially, because I could not eat eggs, but I could wear leather. You see the difference?
See, being vegan isn't just to abstain from animal product, but it is also considered a diet as well. If you look anywhere online, you will see a vegan diet. And as a matter of fact, a vegan diet is different than a whole food plant-based diet. The difference is a whole food plant-based diet avoids refined and processed foods. But if you want to talk about a moral stance, that would be veganism. Veganism is based on a belief system, hence the word ism.
Also in the video, I said I could never love someone that eats meat. I didn't say that I would hate them, because I used to eat meat as well. But now that I've learned and I've grown, I definitely could never love someone that purposely harms others. I can't do it. Can you?
The problem with that logic is that when you love someone, you're supposed to love them for who they are, not what they eat or what they wear. You're supposed to love them for their imperfections as well. If you love someone, you love them for them, and not for who you want them to be. And you also set a really low bar for yourself by doing that, because vegans make up a small percent of the world. And even if you're looking at that list saying, oh, but there's millions of vegans, I hate to break it to you, but they also clump vegetarians in with that list too. So the actual estimated amount of vegans is actually a lot less than what you're looking at. It's not good to close any doors like that. I mean, not only did you cancel out most of the world, but now you still have to find someone with a similar interest. It would have been a lot easier if you would have given everyone a chance. But canceling out the majority of the world is going to make it now even more difficult for you.
Actually, yeah. Processed meats is a class 1 carcinogen, which means it's proven that it causes cancer. And also, our digestive system is a lot longer than carnivores and omnivores, which means that meat actually gets stuck in our colon because it doesn't have any fiber.
Okay, I made sure to have plenty to drink for this discussion. What he's talking about is basically processed meats. But what he doesn't realize is any processed foods are bad, even plant-based. No processed foods are really good. And what they don't realize is fortified vegan food is just as bad, and if not, worse than what we're eating. And what do you mean by longer? Did you mean longer lasting? Because our digestive system is the same length. So what do you mean by longer? But since you want to talk about digestion, let's talk about the top 10 worst foods for your digestive health. Look at that. I see processed foods number 2. That includes both meat and vegetables. But look at the list. Chili peppers number 3. Chocolate number 4. Look at all this stuff. Corn is number 7. Coffee is number 8. Look at all these vegetables that are on the list. Oh my gosh. And you were saying, buddy? I understand that a lot of vegetables are high in fiber, but not all plants are good to eat. And some are even poisonous to us. As a matter of fact, if we were herbivores, we would be able to graze among the grass with the rest of the animals. One thing I did want to talk about is corn. Eating small bits of corn isn't that bad, but eating large amounts of corn is really bad for your digestive system. The reason why is because cellulose is really hard to break down. Also, is no one going to tell them that chicken broth is the best thing for you during the flu? Because it helps your respiratory system and promotes healthy white blood cells. Does he not realize that animal product could save our lives?
So this can actually cause colon cancer, IBS, and many other stuff. So we need to be eating a lot more fiber because our body is designed for a herbivore and frugivore diet. So we need to be eating lots of fruits, brown rice, vegetables, legumes. So yeah.
You do know that you're completely wrong about this, right? You brought up IBS and then mentioned legumes. You do realize that legumes can trigger IBS, right? That's something you really should avoid. There's a lot of grains, fruits, and vegetables which you should avoid if you have IBS. And the information you provided is completely false and inaccurate.
Okay, now earlier when he was talking about our digestive system being longer, this is what I found. Human digestive tracts are shorter than herbivores, but longer than carnivores. Granted, it's closer to herbivores than carnivores, but it's not exactly either. We do not process multiple stomachs or chew cud like herbivores. Humans cannot produce vitamin C on their own. They can only derive it from plant sources. Carnivores and some omnivores produce their own vitamin C. Humans produce hydrochloric acid, which is totally unnecessary for herbivores. It allows humans to digest a wide variety of plant and animal food sources. Humans cannot digest fiber like herbivores. It is clear that we are neither designed to be herbivores nor are we designed to be carnivores. Physiologically, we are more likely mixed eaters, omnivores. Vegetarianism is a lifestyle choice enabled by a first world food chain, not required by physiology. Thank you guys so much for watching my videos. This really means a lot to me and I can't express it enough. I'm so thankful for all the support you guys have given me, and without you guys I would have never been able to grow my channel. And I hope you all have a wonderful day, wonderful night, whatever side of the world you live on. And keep it strong, guys. Keep going strong. And I'll see you next time.
Remember to like, comment, and subscribe.